That snaps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
We
you want one
can't,
quick question?
we can't ask Rashad a question.
Hey, Rashad.
Sheldon Pearce, Pierce. His writing is so good it pisses me off sometimes. And one punching man said this. Another podcaster, the host of the Real Notes podcast. You make sure you give him a follow. Shout out. A lot of New York people follow. Okay, yeah, B turned 20 years old this week or this past week. And it's one of the greatest albums of hip hop history. It's widely regarded as that. You literally can go straight through it, and it's a great album. Kind of like almost like the Pete Rock joint that he just dropped last year, but the production on it was so fresh. Kanye West, man, executively produced it. It's another reason why he is, to me, the greatest artist, musical person in the past 25 years. Probably the most important person in music since Michael Jackson. And yeah, so with that being said, let's get into reading this, shall we? From Sheldon Pearce. It's Your World, Common, Kanye, and the Conflicted Promise of B. In 2005, two Chicago Titans made a generational classic and then sprinted in opposite directions, each daring the rest of hip hop to follow them. When Rolling Stone put Kanye West on its cover in early 2006, it set two undeniable truths on the table: how much the rapper producer had already accomplished and how thoroughly he recognized it. The Passion of Kanye, whose David lapel hero shot depicted the artist as a martyr, and a crown of thorns, outlined the sea changes ushered in by West's first few years on the scene, but also laid bare the maniacal the maniacal focus of the most provocative pop star in America, a mercurial figure who spared no one, not even his senior or close collaborator, Common, a fellow Chicagoan and longtime friend who Kanye met while in high school. Common was now beneficiary of the younger rappers, but ingenious. The Kanye produced album B, released in May 2005, has resurrected his career and secured 4 Grammy nominations in the project, trailing only Ye himself among rappers. Weeks before the ceremony, everything was looking up for their good music label imprint, which boasted 8 noms from Soul Man, John Legend on its tally. Yet, if a rising tide lifts all the boats, Kanye wasn't satisfied with the current. He proclaimed that the Common song "They Say," which was featured on Good Music, Chimmerate. Okay, I ain't gonna lie, that's the first word I didn't know, and I know y'all gonna get on me. Read your babe.
Triumvirate.
There you go. Which featured on Good Music Triumvirate and was nominated for the Best Rap Song Collaboration, was far less deserving of an award than songs on its own sophomore LP, Late Registration. You're telling me that if somebody sat you down in a room for 30 minutes and you told them to come up with a list of the best collaborations of the year, you come up with "They Say," he asked Rolling Stone. Not to sound too arrogant, but how was "They Say" nominated over "Heard Him Say"? And how was that song nominated over "Gold Digger"? Not so subtly, he was surfacing some friction between the perspectives, expressing dissatisfaction that his taste was not reflected in the voting committee, with "Gold Digger" a shining symbol of his more boisterous, shameless, and unpredictable hip-hop philosophy. They were the same ilk, Chicago-bred interpreters of soul, at odds with the influx of gangsters, but were on a different ethical and aesthetic wavelengths, with Kanye seeming to cast B as a vestige of the past and Late Registration as a glimpse of the future. As it turned out, the Grammys agreed. Kanye went 3 for 3 in the rap categories, while Common left empty-handed. Dang, he left empty-handed for B? But they say the penultimate song on B possessed its own prescience, presence, a telling illustration of both rappers' reactions to the outside noise and where those dispositions would take them for over the next 2 decades. In this verses, you can find the quintessence of both MCs. For Ye, the sweet victory. Go ahead and breathe it in like an antihistamine. I know they're saying, dang, Ye snap with this beat. F you expect. I got history. For Common, they say, dude, he think he righteous. I write to just free minds from Stony to Rikers. One is self-importance and the other is self-conscious. And that simmering tension defines B, a quote unquote woke masterpiece and one of the greatest rap albums of the 2000s. The yin yang dichotomy sustains their respective visions of home, a place of awe inspiring as it is anxiety inducing. B is an album that about being present, bearing witness, and keeping your head on swivel, gleaning insight. Learning was the way a critical part of Common's mission. But here it was about listening, most of all to the streets, which bear echoes and after images of all of those who live and perish there. On the album's 20th anniversary, it's much easier to recognize B as a crucial intersection record, not simply for Common on his way to becoming rap's hockey, well intentioned uncle, but for hip hop decorum as an ideal, neo soul inflected boho lyricism for Midwest rap, and more specifically, the hometown correspondent and hood uh, uh, ombudsman as figures on wax. But it is also a clear fork in the road, a moment of pure synergy, paradoxically marking a widening ideological lap between the rapper and the producer at the helm. Perfectly suited for its era. In hindsight, it feels like a complete time capsule. Excuse me, give me a second, bro. I'm about to plug this up. And also, a lot of those words I was stuttering over and stuff like that in this past paragraph. It is 3 a.m. I have to say that because on the Andre 3000 thing, they oh my goodness, you guys got me in those comments. And a couple of those words I didn't know, and when I didn't know them, I went over to the little thing on stream so you could hear me like sound it out and stuff like that. But the other stuff, it's literally just me just recording mad late in the morning. Ugh. Let me charge this thing. Sorry that I haven't been communicating much this past year. Has been from the beginning. Common was pegged as a laureate running counter to the gangster rap domination. A Rap Pages features from 1995 put the rapper Sage in the league of a new cavalry of MCs coming to rescue the damsel in distress known as hip hop. Urban poets who don't need to boast of gat spraying and pimp slapping to do a lyrical battle. Common, for his part, embraced the characterization in his interviews and in song, though never so much he saw himself occupying the world apart from the thugs he lectured. There could be a subtle condensation to his bars, but it was more traditional superiority of an MC taking his word as law. B leaned into further the tantric Afrocentric revolution identity he carved out for himself in the 90s, landing in the wake of the 2002's Electric Circus, an aptly experimental, woefully flawed, extremely misunderstood album that flopped hard and alienated core fans. As Del F. Coey, writing for Exclaim, courteously put it in a hip hop year in review of 2005 that slotted B just ahead of late registration, critically savage and a commercial failure. Common's fifth album wasn't as bad as it was made out to be. One of the last albums recorded on the short-lived collective of the Soulquarians of the once famed Electric Lady Studios on a run that produced instant classics like The Roots' Things Fall Apart, D'Angelo's Voodoo, Erykah Badu's Mama Gun, and Mos Def's Black on Both Sides. Its outre psych appeal was lost on the less forgiving hip-hop establishment. In response, B enlisted Kanye, the newly ascended Rockefeller beatmaker turned backpacking solo star, as executive producer with input from Detroit loop guru and underground mainstay Jay Dilla, long live Jay Dilla, who had worked on Electric Circus as well as Common's 2000 opus Like Water for Chocolate. Both were practitioners of a sample-heavy, soul-forward sound who turned Common's raps into homilize. Hold on. Common set his mandate at writing freedom songs for real people, those real people being in the Windy City natives he observed throughout his life, black churches, black church services, murderers, Arab serving burgers as cats with gold permanents. They move as herbalists. They move back as herbalists. He raps as identifying landmarks. In many ways, B is like a newsstand for Chicago corner boys. He finds time for intercourse and spirituality, but foremost in his thoughts are the metropolis's discounted whole polloi, uncles that smoke and put blow up they nose, the cheater who couldn't find a place at home, the man who set up to take fall in court, anointed hustlers in fatherless region, Chicago nights, they stay on my mind, but I write many lives. They lay on these lines, he explains in the intro. One of the key charms of the album is just how the ground he feels he feels, how watchful the sounds, recounting their tales with both a casual knowingness and withdrawn authority. Common has been blessed with so many gods of the drum machine that it can be filled as providence, but there is clearly a flame drawing from such producers of his work. B is perhaps the purest demonstration of a rapper's cornball charisma, and I mean that in high praise. His words are imbued with the acuity and prudence of a discerning old timer, and he embodies the know how and gumption of original stage name, Common Sense. He could obviously conjure ricketeering fanatic feats featuring from the corner. It's hard to breathe nights, days, thief like. The beast from the streets, the police are Greek like, but on the songs of faithful testify. He delivers simpler testimonials to his competence, both on display a curiosity and a desire to see things as they are not as seen. One is musing, the other is urgent, but all the verses are being held together by their unassuming, down to earth neutrality. With Kanye backing him, saving hip hop soul was the pitch, and it was working broadly too. B was Common's first album to chart in the top 15. It debuted at number 2, bettered only in his discography by a follow up, 2007's Fine and Forever. In 2003, In the Club by Teflon New Yorker 50 Cent shifted rap's focus, rap's locus. You can think of the rise of Kanye as a counterbalance. In 2005, the shady Aftermath G Unit conglomerate was dominating the charts, holding down half of the year's top 10 biggest rap debuts on the Billboard 200 and half of the top 10 rap songs on the Hot 100. But consciousness, quote unquote, was gaining commercial momentum in response to backpack rappers, quote unquote. Socially aware samplers were at the forefront of this movement. Graduation triumphing over Curtis in a head-to-head sales showdown on September 11, 2007, signaled an official changing of the guard. Common was Kanye's knight in the game, an old Chicago rap signifier, newly restored and what to stand in for traditional hip hop values. His sensual John Mayer feature. Oh, okay. Go, 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 go. Got spins on the radio. He never appeared on the cover of XXL or was a part of Dave Chappelle's Hip Hop All Stars with Kanye. And the second season of the Chappelle Show featured 2 Chicago MCs, Talib Kweli, Mos Def, and CeeLo Green. Okay. I'm sorry. Chappelle Show featured the 2 Chicago MCs. There we go. Talib Kweli, Mos Def, and CeeLo Green. So I'm like, Talib Kweli, Black Star, them jokers from New York. And CeeLo from the A. The live version of The Food performed on the show appears on B as to assert that the revolution would be televised. The pole living in Mo prisons pointing to my mind shine the light up, clench my fist tight, holding the right up, freedom fight in the dark gear for the lies to get brighter. He rapped on accepting the role. There it is, a course on slight air primacy of B, a classic double down of the rap classicist lamenting a gun brandishing status quo. I wonder if these whack hitters realize that they whack and they the reason that my people are tired of rap. Common grouses taking his place in the never-ending debates over hip-hop, proprietary, professionalism, and virtue. He'd earned and welcomed his reputation as a quote-unquote conscious rapper, though the term never really meant anything specific and played into perception as more enlightened than his peers. To his credit, he did have self-awareness to address homophobia in his earlier work on Electric Circus, because Common was often made the moral standard bearer in a culture war. There was a sense that he was a smug, idiotic, dicaitic, or Killjoy rapping from a pedestal, but he wasn't unapproachable. Quite the opposite. B has a real man of the people, come as you are energy, like juice and gin in the city we blend. Amongst the hustle, boobies and skin, 50s on rims, he raps on the food. Though he will one day feel like a caricature himself, this album marked the worldliness of a narrator, urbanity of an inner city familiarity, the chosen one from the land of the frozen sun, he raps on this intro, explored the world to return to where my soul began. The repetitiveness of B, rooted in Common's beaming love for his hometown, as he and Kanye and Dilla by proxy plant a flag for the Midwest. Shy City is the most obvious of it, striving to bring the real hip hop culture back into the orbit by brute force. But the corner and the real people are just as intent on marking the regional sound and making people and making the place a rap destination for good. Both build on Common's early work with the producer No ID, who mentored Kanye, seeking to collapse the distance between the rappers 1990, Jazzy 1992, Sleeper, Resurrection, and the Pop Fireworks display that was the college dropout. Ye and Dilla lived on opposite ends of the spectrum, but their beats for B were on the same frequency, rich, something and expressive, with staggered drums that allows Common to strut through as if they were sauntering all over the community. The beats speak as if reacting, and the songs don't just utilize soulful vocal samples, but are constructed around them, hanging in the background like chatter at the corner, crying out dramatically, testify, phasing in and out of focus with voices on the wind, love is, or sweltering devotional choir, faithful, filling the air around him. The resulting uh, panorama provides a gapless immersion into the Chicago of Common's memory and imagination. Yeah, man. When you read something like that, bro, you literally cannot say like writing is not a talent, writing is not a gift. And the art of reviewing is not an art. You can't say that. Even with the symbiosis, the Dilla beats are noticeably the sunnier ones, whose warm light finds the MC the most at his most optimistic. Love is seeks a more nurturing hood and tugs at the shackles of masculinity. If love was a place, I'm gonna go again. But it's his 8 minute closer. It's Your World Part 1 and 2 that really locates his thesis and pure belief. After verses, reliving the world he's known, he envisions the world of his dreams, punctuated by the gaggle of children rattling off the things that they want to be when they grow up. The album is brought by a resounding conclusion by Common's pops, Lonnie Lynn Jr., who lists the states being like affirmations. Being the resident of the 12th house, he says, be eternal. It is here. Common's positivity gospel spirals into the future. Excuse me. Kanye used outtake beats Common passed on for B and built on late registration. Released late that summer. Excuse me, sorry. That album is skewed. It's eschewed Common's brand of noble idealism, and at that point, Kanye was relentlessly moving forward with both soul and cultural awareness. B feels like the last moment where the conscious and the backpacker paragrams overlap. Common and Kanye will work together again, but they were on the different trajectories. The former dependable to the point of stagnation, the latter the chaos being hurtling towards maximum nonconformity. As the world elevated Kanye to superstardom, his interpretation won out. The shift started in their own city with Lupe Fiasco, carried in the 2010s with Chance the Rapper and MCs like of the U Media circuit, and fammed out in all directions. Drake and Kendrick, Kid Cudi and Travis Scott, J. Cole and Tyler Creator, and Childish Gambino. Quickly, the music Common trafficked in, which reflects the respectability politics that accompany the conscious quote unquote label, sounded somewhat toothless to the firier pole mix of crack music or American terrorists or paranoia. Unchecked optimism can be um, and knaves, uh, nati- navit. His worldview in the years to come is arguably better captured in the quixotic and banal soapbox record "Let Love" than the insurgent politic of 2016's Black America again. Common likely didn't realize the future he envisioned into becoming, and he lost the grander holy roar of the quote unquote conscious rapper's place in pop culture. But looking around in the present day, there have been multiple moral victories. The glow of his hopeful lyricism can be felt even in his hometown. Dilla has never been more revered, and there's a clear line drawn from the run of Common's albums that end with B directly tied to this year's From the Private Collection, a collaboration between No ID and Chicago rapper Saba. Common doesn't really embody B ethos anymore, and Kanye has fallen far off the righteous path, but B remains a Rosetta Stone for a form of beloved hip hop diehards, and Common was the right professional character at the right time to deliver the edict. It's tempting to think that records like Common's B and Kanye West's The College Dropout represent a trend towards hip hop that can be hugely successful without pimping cartoons of trigger happy thugs and sex fiends. Will Hermes of the 2005 review of All Things Considered, unable to hide his exhaustion of the prevailing landscape. Many felt as he did, as the two personified a strong moral conscience missing from hip hop. Careful what you wish for. Kanye did remake rap in his image, but at a cost. It was always misguided, always an a simplification to dismissal of the potential ills within conscious rap for the sake of embracing a more puritanical value system. In recent years, Kanye has emerged as a raving rage baiter, spewing anti-Semitic nonsense amid diminishing returns of his albums. That artistic decline has made him easier to finally dismiss, but his worst impulses were always lingering under the surface. Many of us ignored them when they seemed to be inconspicuous, platforming him on the basis of a subversive creative ethic that gradually became a slippery slope. Listeners exposing that ethics are ultimately implicated in creating the uncontrollable uh, megal- megalomaniac we see today, whose defiance is self-serving. It began with treating him like a genius who could do no wrong. Ooh, yikes. Here's what they say about Kanye and Common now: that the former is a disgruntled and delusional, sustained by his edgelord cult, and an increasingly desensitized public that can't look away from his car crash antics, and that the latter is frozen in carbonite, a bane if performative ritualistic presence, always hovering around the best rap album Grammy shortlist, most recently for its profoundly controversial throwback LP from last year. There are insinuations of the futures back here in 2005, but for now more than ever, the album that they made feels reminiscent of a simpler time. For a moment, these two rappers were all potential energy, chasing a tomorrow full of promise. They could just be. What a way to finish it. Yeah. Shout out to B, shout out to hip hop, shout out to Pierce for this amazing write up and things of that sort. If you're new to the channel, this is the Road 5K subs. It is 3:20, so I'm going to sleep, and I hope you all do the same. Enjoy Memorial Day. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, have a good night. And if nobody else told you today, I care for.
That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but.
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
We can't ask Rashad questions.
Okay, Rashad.